In this video, I'm going to be breaking down multiple NBA workouts, lifting routines, exercises that you can do to improve your athleticism. My name is Justin Murray. I've helped multiple athletes run sub 11, multiple pro basketball players, Division I soccer players, and track and field.
First one's going to look real fucking freaky, okay? So this oscillation isometric. You are teaching the tendon, the patella tendon right here where my mouse is, to be reflexive. So if you struggle with bringing in speed, or you constantly have knee pain, or you're maybe really strong but you don't have a lot of athleticism, these type of isometrics are really good for you. But not everyone has this type of barbell that bounces to produce more instability. So you could just do this with a regular barbell or some dumbbells and just bounce in that position that you struggle to absorb force in. If you don't know if you have that issue, you probably don't need to worry about it for right now, but that's why this shit looks so freaky. It is good. I promise it's not like a gimmick. It's pretty good. This is great for developing the posterior chain, right? Your glutes and your lower back, right? So athletes who are taller, 6 foot and above, are going to have more back pain. So you need to teach your body how to handle forces to the back while twisting and turning, which is going to happen in basketball with load, because jumping while you're fatigued is going to be more load than jumping when you're fresh. So, and landing when you're fresh, of course. So this is one of the great ways to develop the posterior chain and that lower back, and some rotational forces that you'll see from change direction. Trap bar deadlift is amazing for developing force production in a vertical force plane, which is key for jumping higher, producing more force, and being athletic. It's one of these staples for most athletes, especially if you're taller. A trap bar deadlift will probably help you and probably let you jump higher without having to get on a barbell where your body's not really set up anatomically to do well, especially in those deep positions. You can get a good range of motion. You can load up the trap bar more than you can a barbell, which means you'll get a little more glute activation because the load is overall higher. You'll get more glute activation from a regular deadlift, but since you can lift more weight, it's going to be a little more beneficial for you just to do a trap bar. So this is another oscillation. I talked about oscillations earlier, and this is a more standard oscillation where you drive this toe up, so you're getting a little more glute, a little more posterior chain. You have the knee above the toe, which is where you have the most propulsion in your 2 foot and 1 foot jump. This propulsive state, then you want to bounce out of it from bottom up. So he's in the bottom position of the lunge, probably the deepest you'll ever get in a basketball game, and then bouncing out of it to develop that elasticity and overload the amortization phase of the tendon. So it's really good for 2 foot jumpers. It's the most basic way I can explain it. Really good for 2 foot jumpers. It looks goofy, but it's very effective. Also can be pretty helpful for reducing pain for some athletes in the patella tendon. So oscillation isometrics are great. Look into them. They're a little bit more unique, but I promise you they work. This is Drew Holiday, another oscillation isometric, real heavy on the glute. This is more vertical shin. He's probably doing it on purpose, so he's gonna get a little more glute and hamstring. So if he's a 1 foot jumper, this is really good. But if you're a 2 foot jumper, push that knee above or past the toe, and then do your isometrics and most of your lifts there anyways, right? So pretty good. Kind of have fun with it, or maybe he's just, I don't know. Oh, here's another one. I totally forgot about this. My brain kind of went flat for a second. He's looking side to side like this because he's improving proprioception, right? So your ability, your body kinesthetic awareness in space, which reduces ankle sprains a ton. So notice how he's kind of looking around. He's like, he's not just being goofy. He's doing that to improve proprioception, which is key, especially in an athletic stance. Really helpful, isn't it? This one right here, a single leg balance drill, right? You can get a great stimulus for proprioception just by standing on one leg. But once you add an overhead component, you're adding a lot of rotational forces that can make you fall off balance, and then you have to react to the defender or the person who's doing the drill for you by going the same direction and the same movement patterns that this person has. Is one of the best ways to develop your reaction, your proprioception, kinesthetic awareness, and reduce ankle sprains because you're on a single leg and you see how much that ankle and the intrinsic muscles in the ankle are being challenged. It's a great exercise. This is another one of those reactionary type drills where he's doing an oscillation through a split stance position. So this is the most athletic position you could be in, but he's catching a tennis ball and reacting while getting some elastic context. He's not bouncing off the ground, but still elastic because he's bouncing in that oscillatory position of a lunge. So it's great for injury prevention. Most of these exercises you've seen have probably been more injury prevention focused. This is another proprioception. So he has instability with one of those foot instability measures. I don't know what you call them. I don't use them anymore, but the instability plates. And then you have to try to touch where the coach is telling you to touch, which is great for proprioception and reducing ankle sprains. Also will help with big toe strength, which has high correlation to change of direction, just in case you didn't know. So this is another reactionary drill in the split stance position. Great for change of direction because you're absorbing force fast into that split stance position. So you're absorbing force and reacting to a stimulus that someone else is giving you. This is a great coach. Coach Mike, great coach, by the way. Really good. He's just very knowledgeable. This is for preventing knee valgus on the eccentric in the deepest position. So he's in another split stance position. You're going to see this with basketball players. Good basketball coaches know what they're doing when it comes to split stance. Constantly in the split stance position with the toes up, get a little more post chain, and then he's trying to give him some instability so the knee can collapse. But if you prevent the knee from collapsing, you're improving something called knee stability. So it's not only ankle stability that matters. Knee stability is another way to prevent injuries, ACL, MCL, and ankle injuries, of course. So just some instability training, throwing out some new stimuluses, stuff of that nature. A seated overhead press, great for developing the shoulder, of course, but also in an athletic position where you would be in a defensive stance trying to stop someone or push someone off. You're kind of improving that ability to push someone off or hold someone that's trying to post you down. So good for big guards or small forwards, power forward centers. This looks like a split stance rotation. Yep, a split stance row. Great for developing overall strength on the basketball court. You're going into that row, so you're getting those rotational forces and then stretching the lat all the way and then pulling back. You can get pretty heavy with this. I won't say that I know exactly why he has the kettlebell, maybe for some balance portions, some off balancing stuff. But another big point with the eccentric of this row is that he's going to be digging into the glute and then rowing out, digging into glute, rowing out. It's another big portion you need to know. So overhead press, he's doing some lateral stuff. So this is for your core, right? Another thing to be strong on the court. You're going to see the core. You're not going to see the abs. You're going to see the core being stabilized a lot by these small movements, lateral tilts above his head, which is also where you would get thrown off balance when you're playing basketball. It's when you're kind of like exposed above head. Chest supported row on one leg. Great way to develop the back strength for basketball, right? You should always have a horizontal row, horizontal push, vertical push, right? Eccentric quasi iso. So this should be weight that he can't handle, and he's trying to hold a position that he's weaker in, where you have to be athletic. So this is more of a acceleration position where you'll produce a lot of propulsion from, and he just has to hold it, right? Probably for 15 to 30 seconds since his heavy load. Great way to develop max strength and also eccentric capacity. If you enjoyed that NBA workout and you want more NBA workouts, just comment below which workouts you want me to break down, and I'll go into even more NBA workouts. YouTube's going to recommend you this video right here or right here, and it'll help you jump higher or run faster.